The next tool we are going to review is very similar to the last one, to Nikto. However, one is specialized on assessing the security of websites powered by WordPress or built on WordPress. And also there is a licensing consideration that we need to keep in mind. The same way that Nikto has a database of vulnerabilities that is checking every time we scan a new website, WPScan also has a database. However, this database of vulnerabilities is updated way more frequently, is more robust, has more entries, and so on. So this database is maintained by a company, and this company basically charges us for using this service, or in this case, is through an API. So we can use our command line interface program without any problems, and this program will be responsible to communicate with this API for WPScan. And yeah, that's kind of the way it works every time we run a scan. However, similar to Nessus, the vulnerability scanner, there is a way to use this for free. It's way more limited. However, it would be good enough for really light use. That is usually what we do on SAFETAG. So given that this is not for commercial, we are not using this for commercial purposes, and we usually will need to analyze a lot of different websites, this will be more than okay. So before we move forward, we will need to create an account or request for an API key or token from the service, so we can use it later in our analysis. Cool. The link to this website so should be somewhere near close to this to this window, to the video that you're seeing. And to create an account, the way I did it, because it's not very friendly, like the signing up, especially for the free tier, is trying to log in and don't have an account, create one here. And here we fill all our information. Okay. I'm gonna skip a little bit the video, and after we hit submit to the form, we'll be receiving a confirmation email, and in that confirmation email we click in a link, and this link brings us to this platform. It will ask you for the email that you used and the password that you used, and you will land here. So we go to profile, and here we will have the API token that we will use to run WPScan in our Kali machines. So please keep this close to you, and then we are ready to move to our virtual machine. Back in our Kali machine, just to give you an example, this specific site was built on WordPress, and it was built like 4 years ago, approximately, and never ever like touched again on purpose, just to test this kind of tools. So we are using this URL as an example, this website as an example, and when we go to the terminal, here we Control L, excellent. We'll be using the first. I want to show you the help page of this tool, same way we did with Nikto, WPScan-H, and when we hit enter, we will see the help page for this tool. Okay, great. Similar to Nikto, a lot of different options. We are not interested in a lot of these. However, I want to show you a couple of very specific ones that could be that are very interesting to be aware of. The first thing that we want to know is that the main use that we give to this tool is to enumerate things. We want to enumerate themes, plugins, WordPress versions, users, etc. Okay, so we will be using this option -e, and we need to pass to this to this argument. We need to pass more information to let the tool know what we are interested in to enumerate. Indeed. So as I told you, there is a section for plugins. Probably it will with this VP, it will only look for vulnerable plugins according to their database. Also, you may ask for all the plugins or only popular plugins. Same with themes, vulnerable themes, all themes, or just popular themes. And there are other interesting things that are objects that we can query to try to enumerate. Okay, maybe the most important here are probably the backups of configurations, because in practice sometimes when you follow some tutorials and you change the configuration of on WordPress, there are some expected ways or that you can back up the information of that configuration, and this tool tries to look for that. And probably more important, users. In many places, especially in civil society, there are you may find a lot of organizations, media outlets, etc., that they don't want to disclose who the people are, like publishing and writing and publishing these articles. That because they are operating in anonymity or any other reason. Okay, so sometimes the usernames of these people might disclose then their identity. For instance, if my name is Carlos Guerra, and maybe for corporate reasons or whatever, the user should be something like C Guerra or Carlos G, something that might be more easily tied to my identity. So we should be also interested into look at, after enumerating users in a public way, because if we are able to have a list of users, and that might be a problem, maybe an attacker can also run this tool, whatever they are, and find the same information. Okay, great. As always, the invitation is to, if you are interested in this, to look at this page and to identify some arguments and features that might be useful for you. For now, I'll be pasting because I don't want to write all of this every time, but I will paste this command in the command line, so I can run an analysis. First, I use this argument URL, and I pass the website, the green website I just showed you. Then I here use this other feature, the one I just showed you before, -e to enumerate vulnerable plugins, vulnerable themes, users. What was an M? I don't. Media IDs range. Maybe we can find here images that are not supposed to be public, or other kind of files. These are the backups of configurations and database exports, other object that it doesn't hurt to look for this. Then the next argument here will be O of output, and here I just I'm suggesting this name of report, WordPress .md. You can pretty much put whatever name you want to, or you can change the md for txt. That's depending on how you want to do it. And API token, and here we paste that API token that we generated earlier. So when I hit here enter, it will take, I don't know, depending on the size of the website, and also depending on especially if we are only looking for specific plugins and themes, or we are looking for everything, it will take, I don't know, 5 minutes or maybe more. 5 minutes for a site like the example should be enough, because it's a very small site. So once I do this, you won't see anything until the moment the scan is done. So I want to pause the video a bit, and that's it. After kind of 4 or 5 minutes for this specific scan, we are ready. When we see the next thing, the next that we can input more comments, that means that the scan is over. So we can go to our file manager and to look report WordPress.md. So we can just double click and see what it is. What is it? Wow, this is a big one, which is kind of expected given that this website has many years without being updated, right? So when we open this report, we can find interesting information. Why not? Interesting the server, in this case, an Nginx, and this version running on Ubuntu. Maybe that might be useful or not. Maybe we can check if this version is vulnerable, is really old. In this case, it's not, but it might be the case. And you can also find other kinds of informations. If you are in doubt, like you can just Google it. Okay. In practice, at least for me and a couple of other auditors, these kind of errors might be interesting for very high risk websites. However, in general, it's not that problematic. Also, that you have a readme found, cool. That's not necessarily a problem. And things like, yeah, WordPress cron seems to be enabled. Yeah, you can start researching these if you want to understand the specifics of this message. And in general, it's not that terrible in most cases, at least for some previous experiences. Good thing is that besides the name of the error, you will also be presented with some links, and you can pretty much try to research, go and navigate through these and learn more about that specific error, and then you can judge by yourself if this error, this problem is that applicable for your case. So yeah, and you can read and you can know. Yeah. What else do we have here? Going back to the Markdown file. Excellent. And this is very interesting. A WordPress version is this one, and is identified as insecure. And this was released in 2019. This is very old, given that we are in 2023. And then if it detects an insecure version of anything, it means the WordPress, the actual WordPress CMS, or a plugin or whatever other thing, it will list all the vulnerabilities that might be affecting the version that you are running. Okay, so this is one of the way it presents it, like the kind of vulnerability store cross-site scripting in Customizer. Again, you can pretty much use the links below to research with more detail what can be done, what are the problems here, etc. And you can also see here in which version of WordPress this is solved, and so on. I mean, it's pretty much straightforward. It's the same for the rest of the vulnerabilities. The thing is that you might expect that these vulnerabilities are different. Okay, there is a vulnerability that let you see private or draft posts. This might be a problem for an investigative reporting media outlet. Usually, when you work investigative journalism, it's very critical for you that the information is not out there until the time you want to publish the respective pieces, etc., and so on. You will see many 53 in this case. And for this example, you won't see it. However, after we are done with the version, all the vulnerabilities related to the version of WordPress, you will find the themes and plugins. So in this case, it will identify which which theme are you using. In this case, it detected that the version is out of date because there is a newest version. However, it's not telling us that this outdated version of the theme is vulnerable necessarily. Okay, so but it's good to know that to know how outdated this site is. Same with plugins. No weird plugins are installing this in this example site. Maybe we can add some for future tests and so on. Okay, no other themes are found. Didn't found backup configuration backups of the site or exports of databases, etc. But this is a place where you will find this information in case they are available. So another thing, it detected media. Okay, so you can have here the link that will take you to the media. Sometimes, or most of the times, you will find images or other supporting files that are not problematic in a website. However, in some moments we have found, for instance, PDF files with reports that are only meant to be opened by a founder, for instance, or yeah, that kind of not public files. Okay, and so on. You can check the other attachments, the other media files, and then we have the users identified. In this case, it detected one as a user supervisor. Is the name of this user. Okay, indeed, is the only user that is created for this example website. However, it will be probably in a real world scenario will be like many others, many more users. Okay, and then we can judge if this is a problem or not. One thing is that it's very usual for attackers to use automated scripts, automated code to try to brute force in the WordPress usernames, and knowing the actual usernames helps a lot, because you don't need to brute force the usernames, only the passwords. Okay, so here can help attackers to cut a little bit the work they need to do to vulnerate, to compromise this website. And another thing we have seen in real case scenarios is that sometimes people leave the organization, some years passed, and these people still have their usernames active, their users active in the WordPress platform, and that also might be a problem. So that could be another interesting thing that you can explore through these reports. So yeah, pretty much that. Again, if you are playing with other websites based in WordPress, please ask for authorization. And yeah, this is the thing of running the tool, looking at the report and researching, using the links, and trying to understand the vulnerabilities and also the solutions to these vulnerabilities, so you can include this into your reports. And usually there are a lot of good yeah, recommendations that we can generate from these kind of reports in the real life, in real audits. So yeah, that's it for now.